Welcome back, everyone, for more Santa Lucia. So last time, we had a couple interesting things that happened. So we have Diego and Bryan had like a bit of a feud because looks like Diego went to another frat uh, in response to the fact that he can't, party basically, like party in terms of like drinking and smoking weed. So, uh, and of course that clearly is showing that it's starting to show like a bit of a dent in Bryan and Diego's friendship. It seems like, which, man, I feel bad honestly for Bryan. To be honest, I really hope that something will work out, but I guess we'll see as it goes on. Um, we witnessed a marathon that Ben, Shay, Chris, and Karina went to. And we actually had Chris kind of open up a bit, about the situation that happened last semester with Russell. So it's kind of interesting how those things kind of all come together. You can kind of tell there's a little bit of guilt, a little bit of, like there's a little bit of unsureness to everything, and it was very interesting. And it was kind of nice seeing Chris kind of open up about his own family and all that. Something I really needed from Chris, because I felt like Chris was kind of just there for a while, kind of the quirky character, and it's kind of nice that we get to know a little bit more about him. So anyways, let's continue. Struggle to catch my breath. Lean against the brick wall of the museum as I watch the other runners race by on the street. I'm not young anymore, that's for sure. Wait, why would I think that? I'm only 18. I hold a hand up to my chest. I need to focus. Control my breathing. There's nothing that says someone like me can't run a marathon. I've done it for years. With a slight struggle, I push myself back onto my feet. Standing helps with proper blood circulation, after all. Out the corner of my eye. Could have sworn I saw Sandra. Vaguely aware that the voice coming out of my throat isn't my own. I turn towards the alley. Sandra, is that you? I know what I saw. That's possible, isn't it? She died earlier this month, didn't she? And yet, I make my way down the alley. For some reason, I feel compelled to investigate. Surely was just my imagination, but I need to be sure. It seems to get darker the further I go. My heart is pounding, though for a different reason than it was a few minutes ago. Or am I chasing after a phantom? It's because there was still so much I wanted to say to her. I never got the chance. Sandra was my friend. I have her life cut short like that. To have her life cut short like that. And so suddenly, it's not fair. I stop in my tracks once I notice the chilling quiet that surrounds me. I can't even hear the noise from the street anymore. I didn't think I went that far. Stepping forward just enough to reach the corner, I carefully peer around it. Just an empty alleyway. No trace of Sandra anywhere. I let out a sigh. What was I thinking? She's dead. At this point, I'm merely jumping at ghosts. Holy... Ooh, okay, that was a jump scare I was not expecting. That actually got me. Before I have a chance to scream, a cold, sharp object slices my throat, silencing me. I gasp at my neck as I collapse to the ground. So warm. A red hooded figure looms over me. His blade glistens from the scant rays peeking through from the sky. He's laughing. Another pun. His rancid breath reaches my nostrils as he whispers in my ear. Shh. Don't cry. You're safe now. The otherworldly gaze pierces through me. This is not a person. This is a demon. My vision fades. So tired. I feel my grip on my neck start to loosen. Can't think straight. Get away from her! A voice echoes from further up the alley. Manage to force my eyes open. My assailant has already fled in the other direction. I sense there's someone kneeling down beside me. Stay with me. Everything's gonna be okay. I gasp through the hole in my neck. I have to stop the bleeding. I hear him frantically rummage through his bag. It's too late for me. Everything starts to fade again. This time for good. With the last of my strength, I reach for the sky. No! He holds my hand. How warm his scaled hand feels. My eyes slowly open. I realize that I'm not breathing. With a jolt, I swing up from my bed and grab hold of my neck. I don't know why I did that. Now that I'm conscious, I realize that Zach is standing next to my bed, looking down at me. Are you okay? Yeah, I think so. Can't help but instinctively rub my throat. What are you doing there? I've been trying to wake you up for a while now. My eyebrows raise at his preposterous claim. I'm not exactly a light sleeper, but I don't usually sleep through someone trying to wake me up. Sorry about that, then. He continues to avoid eye contact with me. You shake when you sleep. What was that? I squeeze my eyes closed while letting out a yawn. The RA came by a few minutes ago, telling everyone to come down to the lounge. Apparently they're having an emergency meeting. Huh? Emergency meeting? Can't wait until the afternoon. Still feeling a bit groggy. I flop back onto my bed and sigh. I think I'm gonna stay here. Tell me what it was about later, okay? I hear an unexpected grunt from my roommate. Do what you want. You always do. I perk an ear up at his remark. The RA told me attendance is mandatory, so I'm gonna be there. Starts in 30 minutes. If you're smart, you'll be there too. Without another word, he turns his back to me and heads for the exit. Hey, wait up. He left, just like that. Guess he's still mad at me. Slide out of bed and stretch my limbs. It'd be nice if he were less passive-aggressive about it. Checking my nearby phone, I see it's almost 11 a.m. Yeah, I know I slept in and all. But it's not like he had to run a marathon. Or deal with the police interrogations right after. Shake my head. It's strange. I feel like I should be way more concerned about these deaths than I actually am. I don't know. Everything about it feels so distant, even if it's all happening so close to me. Hell, it's not like I haven't talked about things with Karina. We're on the same page about it. The police will figure it out soon enough. All we have to do is not put ourselves in bad situations, and we'll be fine. Right? Satisfied with my brief set of stretches, I walk over to my table and grab my comb. Zach's words stung, but he's probably right. I brush my hair down so I don't look like I just got out of bed anymore. I'd rather not get reprimanded for skipping out on something mandatory. I bet this is something related to Fresh Sem, seeing as how this meeting's being called by the resident assistants. We're mostly all mentors. May not look like it, but I do actually care about my grades. I did just see what a fat 0 or whatever would look like on my Fresh Sem grade. Quickly spray some deodorant and slip a shirt on me. Put on some pants, then follow after Zach out the door. I found myself faced with a large crowd gathered in front of what I remember to be the entrance to the lounge. I don't go down here all that often, so I'm glad I still remember which side of the building it's on. Yeesh. From the looks of it, they really did call everyone down here. Ben, hey! Near the far edge of the crowd, I recognize a fox waving wildly, trying to get my attention. Breathing a sigh of relief, I quickly close the distance between us. Nate, what's up? Hoping I was going to be the last one to make it to the meeting. Looks like you get that honor today. It's just me, or is it really warm in here? Any idea what this is about? Not even the slightest. Well, the timing seems to line up. Did you hear about what happened yesterday? I don't think so. No. There was a woman who got killed during the marathon Karina and I were running in. Oh god, that's terrible. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I scratch behind my ear and look away. I even talked to her a bit on the run. Frightening. I nod my head. A repeat of what happened in Cambrian Valley, that's for sure. Do you think that this meeting is about that? I pause for a second, then nod my head. That's my hunch. I hope they catch the murderer soon. So do I, Nate. It would certainly help me sleep better at night. Eventually, the two of us are able to push our way through the crowd and into the lounge. Didn't look all that big before, but it holds a surprisingly large amount of people. Yeah. Looks like they opened the double glass doors that lead into the courtyard too. There's definitely a lot more elbow room out there. The two of us momentarily separate from each other, lost in the sea of other students. We eventually regroup when we find the rest of our friends bunched up together closer to the glass doors. I think that's everybody. The gang's all here. Oh, I'm flattered. You consider me one of the gang now? Sure. You may not be in our mentorship group, but we've hung out enough to consider you one of our own. Ben, you look like you slept in. You can be so lazy. What? Karina comes out of nowhere with an unexpected attack on my character. What makes you think I slept in, huh? I comb my hair down with my fingers, trying to act natural. Oh, I don't know. Your cowlick's sticking straight up. Bet you haven't even showered yet. That may be true, but that doesn't mean I slept in. You of all people should know how crazy yesterday got. So, did you sleep in or not? He did. Somehow through the sound of the crowd, I'm able to pick up the voice of my roommate behind me. Zach, when did you get here? I followed you. Figured you saw me. Oh. Oof. He's laying it on thick now. Zach, come join us. Yeah, dude, get out of the crowd. Okay. With all of us gathered together, we mingle for a bit, waiting for the meeting to start. It's interesting to see Shay and Zach interact too. I had a feeling those two might know each other since they're in the same medical program. How'd you score on your titrations right up for Chem Lab? Not very well. I only got 65 out of 100 points. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Just can't seem to get these right. Yeah, the write-ups are a pain. If you like, I could help you out with them. I got a 98. Oh, congratulations. I'm so proud of you. Thanks. I raise an eyebrow. I wonder what the story behind their connection is. Maybe they're lab partners or something? Just send me a message anytime you need help, okay? I will, don't worry. Glad to see the shy guys making friends. Yeesh, how much longer is this gonna take? I've got some things I'd like to do tonight. If you know what I'm saying. My stomach flutters at his insinuation as he very briefly looks in my direction. Yeah, I can't wait for tonight either. Yes, Panda, we always know what you were saying. I would appreciate it if you keep it in your pants. For once. Bryan gives Carlos the side eye. Carlos, still as frigid as an iceberg. He turns to the tiger and puts on a big grin. You really have to lighten up, bro. You treat college like it's a deathly serious obligation. Bryan pats Carlos on the back, which seems to genuinely catch the tiger off guard. I don't understand your logic, Bryan. You're so flippant with your studies. Aren't you scared you're gonna fail a class? My ears perked up at a peculiar way Carlos is talking. Well, peculiar, yeah, in comparison to how he was before. Is he starting to use contractions? I'm not gonna lie, I kinda like the way he sounds now. Nah, I take things as they come. Bryan shrugs his shoulders. I'm not trying to prove anything to anyone. Top the class or not, as long as I pass, it's good enough for me. It's more to life than good grades, you know. I see. I think I understand where Bryan's coming from. But I also think he might also be underestimating how challenging certain degrees are to get. Can't imagine Carlos or Zach have an easy time with how accelerated their programs are. Have you even been laid yet, dude? Alright, I don't know Spanish. I'm sorry, guys. Come on. You said you knew what I meant earlier. Don't play dumb. It's none of your business. Jesus Christ. What kind of question is that? Do you know shame, Panda? Bryan puts his hands up and takes a step back. Alright. No need to get testy. I will say this, though. If the opportunity arises, I think you should take it. No sense in wasting the chance to feel what it's like to be intimate with somebody. Who knows? Maybe it'll help you chill out a bit. With that, Bryan turns around and joins the conversation between Shay and Zach. The tiger goes quiet and folds his arms. Looks like Bryan left him with a lot to think about, huh? I hope things go well for Carlos. Turn my attention to Karina and Nate. So then I was all like, Kendra, since when was your fur blue? Wow, how embarrassing for her. I've had... Excuse me. I had paint in my fur before, too. It's not easy to wash out. Oh, I know. Isn't it the worst? Nate gently claps his hands together a couple of times. Bravo, darling. You're becoming quite the storyteller, it seems. Thanks, Nate. I've been taking cues from how you do it. Aw, I'm flattered. Utilizing what little space is available, the fox performs the most theatrical bow he can. I'm more than happy to pass on my techniques. What's up, Ben? staring at all of us for a while. What? I'm pulled out of my gaze by my annoyingly perceptive best friend. Oh, sorry. Guess I don't really have much to say right now. Nah, it's not that. It's 'cause you're still asleep, huh? Stop that! Ugh! Nonsense, Karina. Between that wobble and his 1,000-mile stare, I think he might have a hangover. That's it, I gotta put a stop to this. Damn it, I didn't sleep in! And I don't have a hangover either. God. I'm just tired. That's all. Oh, okay. Sorry, darling. We didn't mean to make you upset. Usually you're in a better mood. Something wrong? Let out a long sigh. After all the shit that's gone on lately, I think I'm ready to I'm getting close to my wit's end. Still, I have to do my best to keep up appearances. Last thing I want for everyone to coddle me or treat me like a child. Nah, it's nothing really. Probably just exam anxiety. We still haven't talked much about what happened yesterday. And we will. Can't help but roll my eyes. She can be very insistent when she feels there's things that need to be addressed. Just not right now. If you say so. That's right. You two ran in the marathon yesterday. I hold a hand up to try and silence Nate. Please, let's just drop the topic. Yes, hi. Can I have everyone's attention, please? Everyone turns in unison towards the far end of the room. The sound of someone talking to a megaphone echoes through the room. I can hear someone else doing the same out in the courtyard. Oh, it's Sam. A familiar tall panther stands on a short pedestal and addresses the crowd. He looks off to the side for a second. Could you hand me the sheet, please? Here you go. Chris runs up to Sam and hands him a paper, then quickly retreats into the corner again. I'm surprised they don't have him doing the talking. He seems like the kind of guy who'd jump on the opportunity. Then again, we both went through the nightmare that was the police interrogation yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised if he's as out of it as I am. Thank you all for being here on such short notice. Now that we're all paying attention, he puts the megaphone down and starts speaking normally. I know everyone has better things to do right now, but it's very important that we let you know what's been going on. The expression turns grim. As you know, there was a murder yesterday morning downtown. And before that, we lost our president under mysterious circumstances. There also have been several other apparent murders that have occurred over the course of the month. Somehow his expression manages to grow even darker. The police believe that there's a serial killer active in Santa Lucia. Collective gasps and mutterings begin to rumble up from the crowd. Jeez, have any of you been paying attention to the news? It's not like this is all new information. Please, I still need your attention. The crowd quiets down once again. As your mentors and resident assistants, we have been tasked with informing you of rule changes the school is implementing in response to these events. Oof, here we go. I know exactly what this is leading. As of today, all students are required to be in their dormitories by 9 p.m., and are highly encouraged to head straight back to their rooms after classes. Several students excuse me, sorry. Several students in the crowd groan loudly. That's not fair! What about public safety? Aren't they supposed to be patrolling campus and keeping us safe? That is true, but our officers can only do so much. We are implementing this curfew to ensure the safety of all our students. But what if we go home on weekends? Sam turns to address the doe, who asks the question. You will be required to fill out a form requesting permission to do so. The crowd starts to murmur again. Isn't this a little extreme? I thought this was a school, not a prison. Can you guys calm down, please? He's trying to speak. If you don't care about your safety, then go right ahead and get killed. Clearly losing his patience, Sam speaks into the megaphone. Let's stay focused, everyone. Chris slips in and whispers something in Sam's ear. We will be sending an email to all students with the details of the new curfew. Now let's go over some of our guidelines and suggestions. Sam continues on for another 10 or so minutes before letting us go. Excuse me. And 7 of us regroup in the hall outside the lounge. I had no idea it was getting this bad. Same. It's like a nightmare I can't wake up from. Would you like to talk about this later, doll? Karina meekly nods her head. Zach, on the other hand, merely stares out the nearby window. How are you feeling, Zach? He continues to stare, seemingly lost in his own head. Man, he's definitely been out of it lately. Oh, there you guys are. Oh, there you guys are. Sorry I couldn't be with you in there. No worries, bro. It's all good. Shay, what are you doing here? I'm just hanging with my roomie. Everyone said they consider me an honorary member of the group. They did? Chris does his best to play dumb given current company, but I can tell he's happy to hear it. So you want us to stay in our rooms for the time being, huh? It's not just me. The school wants you to, too. After what happened yesterday, I think it's for the best. Wait a minute. The tone he's using suggests... Did you ask the administration to do this? Oh, darling. We're all adults, you know. We don't need you guys micromanaging our every move. I agree with Ben. We shouldn't be punished for something outside of our control. Don't think of it as a punishment. Think of it as a way to focus on your studies. Great, exactly what I was looking for. That's the spirit, Bryan. As usual, sarcasm seems to go right over the Aussie's head. Did you really push for a curfew, Chris? Chris's girlfriend chimes in with a surprisingly pointed question. It wasn't just me. Layla, Sam, Elowen, Rutvy, and Kimberly have all suggested something similar over the past month. He lists off a bunch of names that I mostly have no connection to. If you really think it's for the best... This is stupid. When the dragon speaks, we all turn to him in surprise. If you think a curfew is going to stop the killer, you're a fool. What about the townsfolk? Just because we're safe doesn't mean they are. Zach, what's gotten into you? I stare at my hooded friend, shocked by his sudden outburst. Sorry. I'm going back to my room. He turns tail and starts speed walking towards the stairwell. Zach, hold on. Try calling out to him, but it's no use. He's already climbing the steps. When I turn back, all I'm greeted with is the stunned faces of my friends. I hope he's okay. Poor guy. Seems like it's starting to get to him. I didn't mean for things to go this way. I hold a hand up and feign a smile. It's not your fault, Chris. You're just doing what you think is right. Zach has a somewhat peculiar worldview. Don't take it personally. Knowing that if I don't talk to him soon, he might disappear again. I turn and start walking for the stairwell too. I'll see everyone later. I'm gonna check in on him. I wave to them as they all say goodbye to me as a group. Good luck, Ben. My ears tingle when a strangely familiar yet unfamiliar voice reaches them. I look over my shoulder. I see they're all back to discussing the curfew with Chris. Huh. Wonder who that was. I gently close the door behind me and scan the room. Sure enough, my wayward roommate sits at his desk staring up at the wall. Glad he hasn't run off somewhere yet. Hey. He shifts his gaze towards me. Hey. I pull up my chair and sit beside him at his desk. Is everything alright, man? You've been more on edge than usual lately. It's nothing. You wouldn't understand. You never do. What do you mean by that? I raise an eyebrow, perplexed by his statement. His voice cracks. He's clearly having a hard time right now. Zach, I'm your roommate and your friend. You don't have to be so guarded around me. Just be patient. Explain to me whatever's going on with you, and I promise I won't judge. You won't? Put my hand over my heart. I promise. Okay then. With a shaky hand, he opens his drawer and pulls out that one journal. The letters VG are artfully arranged into what looks like a shield shape on the cover. Carefully, Zach flips into a specific page without letting me see any of the earlier pages. He then places the open book on the desk. I've been keeping tabs on the killer for almost half a year. I'm finally getting an explanation for the things I saw way back when. You are? I mean... Sorry. I said I wouldn't do that, and I just did, didn't I? I know it's stupid, but... You want to catch him. He sheepishly nods his head. There has to be some pattern. Some sort of clue that could help the authorities catch him. I just need more information. I'll do my best to give him a reassuring smile. Hey, sounds to me like you're doing more for this class than most people would. You think so? Yeah. I flip a couple of pages in the journal. I know you. You're a very meticulous person. If anyone's gonna figure something out on this guy, it'll probably be you. I hope so. I put a hand up to his forehead. I don't know how much more of this I can take, though. Let out an empathetic sigh and wrap an arm around his shoulder. I know you mean well, but you're acting like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. He goes quiet, but doesn't try to escape my hold on him. I think I see why you've been so on edge lately. It's not your responsibility to save everyone, Zach. Again, he doesn't answer. Maybe you should take some time off from the case? I'm sure you have some video games or something that could use your attention, right? Still nothing. Come on, Ben, you gotta think of something. Ah, that's right. Oh, I forgot to tell you this. Finally, that's something that catches his attention. I push my seat back and pull out my phone. You've been gone so much, I haven't had a chance to tell you. I tried contacting Russell again. You did? I nod my head. Yeah. Started thinking about what you said that day. I thought maybe there's a chance I could be wrong. For some reason, this puts a smile on his face. Well, anyway. Gave him a call, but he didn't answer. Oh. And he sent me this text. I hand the phone to him. Russell. I tried, but I guess he doesn't want to talk to me anymore. He stares at the phone for a moment, then looks up at me. Thanks for trying, Ben. I think it'll mean a lot to him. I scratch behind my ear and look off to the side. I had a talk with someone the other day about him too, and I guess it gave me a little more perspective on the whole situation. Feel this weird pang in my chest. If only I could talk to Russell one more time. All I want are answers. His side of the story. I'm sure he'll come around eventually if you keep trying. I don't know if that's such a good idea. He goes quiet again. Both stare up at the ceiling. Yeah? His voice quivers, suggesting he's nervous about something. I haven't told you yet, but my birthday's coming up in a few days. Oh, really? When is it? October 3rd. Wednesday, huh? Well, happy early birthday then. Thanks. Seems kind of bashful right now. My parents want me home to celebrate. Would you like to come? Widen my eyes at the unexpected offer. Really? Yeah. Sure thing, dude. If that's what you want, I'll totally be there. Thanks, Ben. It's funny. Me bringing up Russell really seemed to lighten his mood. I hope he's going to put this whole junior detective thing to rest now. He got more than enough to worry about with his schoolwork after all. As the conversation eventually fades, I return to my side of the room. We both end up doing our own individual activities for the rest of the day. When I look over my shoulder occasionally, I'd see Zach plugging away at an old turn-based role-playing game. I remember my dad used to be a big fan of those Japanese ones when I was a kid. I hope Zach stays this way for a bit. At least until they catch the killer. He doesn't seem too thrilled with the curfew. And given his habit of staying out late without telling anyone. This was pretty good. Maybe even better than last night's. Bryan rolls over to the side, falling on his back next to me. Take a moment to recover from the afterglow. This one was good, right, Bryan? Tilt my neck to face Bryan, who's still panting next to me. But for only an instant, Bryan isn't the one laying next to me. Instead, there's this chameleon with piercing amber eyes staring me down. But, you good? In the blink of an eye, Bryan is there again, and I find myself lost in his baby blue eyes. That was... Yeah, I'm great. Just need some time to recover. His confused expression turns to an understanding smile. Shit, man, I know I'm good, but I don't think I've scrambled someone's brains before. I've gotten a lot of looks after a good session, but the way you were looking at me, you looked more sad than anything else. Damn. Didn't think he'd notice when it happened so fast. You okay? I hope it didn't hurt you or anything. No, not at all. It's nothing you did. His expression relaxes a bit. Phew, that's a relief. What's up then? Hesitation paralyzes me for an instant. It would feel a bit pathetic if I just told him what happened. Can't even get over my ex. On the other hand, I think back on Karina and her exes. I guess it's nothing to be that ashamed about. Well, I just remember my ex for a second there at the end. I guess the wound is still fresher than I thought. He nods his head as he listens to me, inviting me to continue. We, didn't leave things on the best of terms. And, well, the second guy I've been with raised an eyebrow, which makes me reconsider my words. I mean sexually, not romantically. I put up my hand and shake it. No feelings involved. Somehow Bryan seems to understand what my incoherent fumbling means. Folds his arms behind my head and stares up at the ceiling. Behind his head. Nope. Sorry, I think I might have misread that. Folds his arms behind his head and stares up at the ceiling. No, I get you. Breakups suck. They suck even more when you leave things unsaid. Unsaid is a bit of a euphemism in this case. But I don't want to delve that deep when I'm still butt naked on his bed. Yeah, but I'll be fine. Taking a chance and doing this with you has lifted a weight off my shoulders, weirdly enough. Is that so? Guess I really am your second. Surprised such a handsome cat like you couldn't find anyone else worthy of his royal behind. I feign indignation, rolling my eyes theatrically. Dork. You're my second only because you initiated it. Pretty sure I would have quit the app the day after otherwise. Would have been a lot more boring. Would have been a lot more boring, let me tell you that. It tilts its head in my direction, looking perplexed for an instant. Huh? Then looks away, his gaze fixated on the open window and the clear blue sky beyond. I suppose I'm glad to be of service. Certainly chose well for your second, Your Majesty. You dick. I throw the slightest punch I can muster. The latest punch I can muster. Landing it with the weakest sounding slap on his shoulder. I'm just teasing you. He turns around and catches me in a hold. No fair. He's got the size advantage. We wrestle around for a bit, still in our birthday suits, only stopping when Bryan earns his obvious victory. After a quick cleanup session, we put our clothes back on and decide to spend the rest of the afternoon in his room together. We're halfway through a movie Bryan put on when a biting chill in the air served as a reminder that the window is still open. Damn, I didn't expect it to get this cold. The panda gets up from his seat by my side and closes the offending window in one motion. A quick glance outside dashes my hopes of spending more time together after the movie. Although, it's not like we've paid much attention to it. It's gotten this dark already? Sigh escapes my wet lips. Sounds such a good time. No, we'll get together again soon. At this point, I'm not even surprised Bryan reads me like an open book. I know. Just kind of blows your football games end up taking your weekends. I sound entitled, but it's true. We've spent a lot less time together since the season started. Yeah, it's fun, but it's kind of a... His face lightens up all of a sudden, as if a flash of lightning had struck the panda. Actually, good news. Next game's a home game, so we're staying here for the weekend. My heart flutters with elation, and I do my best to hide my grin. More time with Bryan is always good. That's cool. It'll be a nice change of pace. He rubs the back of his neck, a coy smile on his lips. Think you could make it to the game for me? I reply before the panda even has a chance to continue. Yeah, for sure. I want to be there. My enthusiasm seems to spread to him as he slams his fist in his palm. Sick. That's really dope. He paces around the room, as if containing his excitement. I haven't had any of my friends watch a game yet, so this will be fun. Snapping his fingers, he adds. Oh, if you tell me where you're sitting before we start... He raises a hand, lifting both his pinky and index fingers up to the sky. I'll do this in your direction. Means I'm indicating this goal to you. The flutters grow stronger at his words. That's really charming of him. Wow, I'm really flattered. Thanks, Bri. Anything for such a cute cat. He stops by the window, facing away from me, seemingly freezing for a second. Do you see something outside? He swings around, still smiling. Well. Anyway, we'll talk more about this closer to the day. might not be able to score any points myself, you know. You know how that goes. I brush off his concern with a wave of my hand. Ah, bullshit. I'm sure you'll kill it. Bryan laughs the remark up, rubbing the back of his neck. We'll see, we'll see. He ponders something for a moment before speaking up again. Actually, we haven't been to the frat since we got accepted. You want to swing by and say hi? Isn't that a bit late? We'll be back before curfew, don't worry. The party that wants to stay here and spend more time with just the two of us. But the more logical part of myself realized that our evening together would end the moment his roommate shows up. So, might as well spend some time with with the other members of the frat. Sure, why not? Cool. Let's head out once this movie is done. Right, forgot about the movie. After the movie ends, we make our way to the frat house. There isn't very many people out since it's getting dark, and the new curfew rules probably aren't encouraging people to stay out long. That said, there's still more than there probably should be, especially with a serial killer out and about. Not that we're being much smarter. I guess we're together, so we're safe, right? So, how's it feel? Being a frat boy. I always knew I'd join a frat myself someday. But I don't think you were planning on it, huh? Nope, not at all. How do I feel about it anyway? It all happened so fast. It's all a blur. Excited, that's for sure. I'm probably a little scared. Guess I hope I'll live up to their standards. A slap on the back whacks me out of my own little world. A guy like you? You're exactly what this frat wants. Takes himself seriously, but knows how to have fun. I shrug in surprise. I always figured I was more of a buzzkill than a riot, to be honest. Bryan's grin grows wider. Oh, you're definitely a buzzkill. A real sourpuss. But that's part of what makes you fun. Couldn't be worse than a certain tiger we know, anyway. It's my turn to slap him on the back, although mine pales in comparison to his. Huh, thanks for the compliment. My dry sarcasm doesn't go unnoticed, which makes Bryan chuckle. See what I mean? I make a turn right at a dark crossroad. I know I'm not looking forward to the official induction ceremony in November. I know I'm looking forward to the official induction ceremony. His face lights up and pumps his fist in the air. Fuck yeah. That's gonna be tight as hell. We're partying all night. Well, probably won't be as wild as you think. Remember their policy on debauchery? Party's a party, right? I haven't been to that many parties now that I think about it. Mostly smaller ones, I guess. Like birthdays or celebrations. Maybe I'm the one with the wrong idea of how it'll go. Yeah, I bet it'll be fun. We arrive at the frat house not too long after. On the way in, I spot Thomas and several of the other guys playing soccer on the grass. They're in the middle of an intense match, so we should probably swing by to say hi later. Unsurprisingly, the place is pretty crowded, although everyone is separating into their own different groups around the place. We shake hands with a couple of the other members, most of them unfamiliar to me. They seem to know Bryan, however, and are keen on dragging him alongside them to the gym. I think that's what it said, right? Yeah. I catch only a few words, but from my understanding, it's something involving Blake and lifting weights. I half expect Bryan to jump on the opportunity, but instead he decides to stick with me for the evening. That's nice of him. Kane and some other brothers are playing video games in the main room. It seems that Wolf's winning, by the looks of it. We find a quiet place away from the hubbub of the frat house. Never seen it so packed before. Yeah, guess everyone's here on the weekends. Sick. Bryan's reveling in the atmosphere. Anything you want to do? I'm not sure. You? I've half a mind to hit up the gym. Figures. He shrugs. What can I say? You don't get this good by just sitting around drinking booze. But I don't think it'd be right to just leave you hanging alone on your first day as a real brother. This is my crowd. My type of scene. Knowing you, however, I think you might need a nudge or two. He's not wrong on that one. I can handle small groups, but the sheer amount of people makes it hard to intrude on any group in particular, without feeling like without feeling like I'm the 11th wheel. Thanks, dude. Though I now have the burden of choosing for the two of us. I know Bryan wants to hit the gym, but I'm not sure how into it I'd be. Maybe I could join Kane's group? I'm sure Bryan likes to play video games sometimes, and I guess I dabble in them myself. There's also the other group outside playing soccer. Thomas is with them, so it shouldn't be too hard to join in. Decisions. Feel up for some soccer? Last time we played, I didn't put on the best performance. This could be a good way to redeem myself. So you can ignore me again? He crosses his arms in feigned indignation. Well, you know why I acted like that. I'm sorry, though. Never was the best at communicating my feelings. Bryan shrugs back. That's fine. I was just teasing you. You just needed to give the old panda a spin, that's all. Pfft, don't make me regret it now. He snickers as we walk back outside onto the grass. Looks like the game might be over at this point. Thomas and another guy are still there, passing the ball to each other while chatting. Hey, got room for two more? Oh, sup, guys? Sure, Rich and I we're getting kind of bored by ourselves. The tall falcon greets us, raising his hand and smiling. You guys must be Bryan and Ben, right? Yeah, we are. Didn't think we were that well known. Falcon probably notices my confusion and hastens to clear it up. I just like to keep tab on our new brothers. I met all the other ones, so you guys were the last on the list. Last but not least, I hope. Bryan shakes his hands with the Falcon, and I follow suit. People do love their firm handshakes here. That we'll see, Bryan. That we'll see. He taps the panda on the shoulder, chuckling. You guys are fine in my book. Trust me. You wouldn't be there if you weren't. Huh? That's ominous. Who judges who gets in or not, by the way? Thomas dribbles the ball around. Well, that depends on the fraternity. Technically, every member is allowed to weigh in on the decision of who to let in. Though in practice, some are more involved than others in the process. Rich here is part of the informal committee we have in place. He passes the ball to Rich, who speaks up. There's Tom, me, and a few others in it. Blake too, obviously. We don't have a leader or anything, but people look up to him. I think I can see why. How many people did you invite this year? Thomas caresses the fur on the chin. Let me see. There's you two, Riley. 4 total, I think. Rich gives me a sign and passes the ball to me. Managed to catch it under my foot, kicking it around. Just 4, huh? I'm both flattered and anxious about the immediate pressure this low number puts on us. Bryan loves it, though, judging by the big grin he's wearing on his face. I nodded my head towards him and kicked the ball in his direction. Well, we have strict rules that tend to scare away a lot of people. A certain crocodile comes to mind. After that, we just take our pick of the guys that excuse me, that jive the most with us. Bryan juggles the ball for a bit before passing it back over to Rich. I admit, we thought you two didn't get along at first and were afraid it'd bog down the group. Oh, jeez. Bryan glances at me with a smirk. Yeah, we didn't know each other too well yet, and Ben can be a bit shy. Real nice when you get to know him, though. At least he's making good on his promise of keeping things under wraps. Thomas nods. That's alright. You guys more than impressed us afterwards. We look for people that seem interested in self-growth and are fun to hang out with. I'd like to think that describes me, and somehow these guys seem to think so too. Thomas claps his hands together. Would you guys be interested in a rematch? Last time you guys played soccer, you didn't have the chance to work together as well as you could have. I'm sure Ben and I could give you a run for your money now that we have each other, we know each other better. I'd expect nothing less. Bit unorthodox, but 2-on-2 will have to suffice. You're on. Bryan's talking us up, but I'm not sure I'm on the same level as Rich and Thomas. Whatever. Let's give this a shot. We've been playing for a good 30 minutes, and to my surprise, we've been holding strong against their onslaught. We agreed on a best-of-3 match, but right now both teams are tied at 2 points each. This is the decisive round. Thomas is the most aggressive of the two, comparable to Bryan. But while Bryan and I have been passing the ball more than the other two, Thomas's tactic is more aggressive. He'll charge in, tackle the ball from under my feet, and dash to the goal as fast as he can. Rich has taken more of a defensive position, waiting for the ball to come close to kick it away. It doesn't take a great tactician to figure out their strategy, just like I'm sure they figured out ours. Cutting us off when passing the ball has been their best plan to counter us so far. Ben! Bryan calls out, passing the ball along to me. Shit, gotta think fast. I might run faster than Thomas, but Both him and Rich are blocking the way to the goal. There's no way I can get past them. I might have an idea. Kicking the ball as I go, I dash towards their side of the field. As expected, Thomas beelines towards me, his long ears fluttering in the wind. In a direct confrontation, there's no way I'll win. Bryan! I call out to my partner, shaking my head as I go. This works. Thomas prepares to move in between us, bidding for his time to strike. Wait for it. Wait for it. Now! I raise my right leg, preparing to kick the ball to my partner. The rabbit lunges for the tackle with full intent to intercept the ball. Much to his surprise, however, the pass never happens. Instead, the kick only propels the ball forward a couple inches beyond his reach. I dash past the rabbit and kick the ball towards Bryan. The panda catches the ball, running alongside the remaining length of the field. Rich moves into position to defend their goal, but Bryan never had any intention to strike. Instead, he winks at me, passing the ball over. Before Thomas has any chance to catch up to me, I shoot the ball past our goalposts. With a loud cheer, Bryan rushes towards me, his palm wide open. His hand meets mine, exchanging a resound high five. Fuck yeah! That's what I'm talking about! Bryan lifts his shirt, using it to wipe off the sweat off his brow, giving me a nice view of his rippling, wet abs. I get to see them as often as I want, but the sight is a reward in its own right. Thomas and Rich catch up with us. I expect them to be sour, or at the very least, slightly miffed at our almost unearned victory. Instead, we're met with the both of them beaming. Great game, guys! You did really good. Didn't expect that feint at the end. How'd you even pull it off? Both our gazes met, and we chuckle. Guess we just work like that well together. This is a very different duo than the last time we met on the field. I have to say, I'm impressed. Is this another test or something? The Falcon nudges Thomas in the ribs. Oh, lay off the old guy attitude for a bit, Tom. What this bundle of joy is trying to say is, this was fun. Let's do it again sometime. The rabbit grimaces at Rich. I appreciate your interpretive work, Rich. The graceful bow. Rich deflects Thomas's sarcastic tone. I'd be down for another, but I have some work to do before curfew. Like Rich said, this was fun. I'll see you guys around. Thomas takes his leave after wishing us a good night. Rich following soon after. The two of us are now alone again. I can only imagine that it was another test of his. We can only imagine that if this was another test of his, there's no way we didn't ace it. We got back inside. We stumbled upon Kane. His friends just clocked out for the night, so he invited us for some snacks in his room. The wolf also mentioned some music he'd think we'd like. Seemed like a good way to cap off the day, so Bryan and I both accepted the invitation. The rhythmic ambient chords of an indie pop song play through Kane's speakers as the three of us chat quietly in his room. The topics have shifted wildly since we all sat down, going from school to sports, then to music and video games. We sit at an equal distance from each other, with Kane and I on his bed and Bryan in front of us on a chair, The wolf pulled out. There's a small end table separating us with various chips and snacks on it. I could tell Kane was slightly apprehensive of Bryan at first. I chalked it up to Bryan's intimidating stature versus Kane's shy nature, but the wolf has nothing to fear when it comes to size. After spending some time with the panda, however, he relaxed a bit. I guess Bryan's an acquired taste? If so, Carlos must be allergic. Mind if I use the bathroom? Kane points to the door in the back of the room. Go right ahead. It's the door over there. Got it. Thanks. As soon as Bryan makes his way inside the bathroom, Kane swings around and places his hand on my thigh. Oh, Ben, did you get a chance to listen to some more of In Another World? Didn't expect Kane to be the touchy kind, but it might be his excitement speaking. The soft thumps of his wagging tail hitting the bed remind me of a certain someone I know. I did, yeah. You were right, they were a pretty good band. I'm lucky I was diligent with his music recommendations. He removes his hand from my thigh, scratching his ears as he folds his legs. There's a faint blush on his cheeks. Perhaps he realizes he got carried away. I especially like Summer Ways. I knew you'd like that one. It's my favorite too. There's just something about the way it makes me feel. Like melancholic for some reason. Or for something I've never experienced, you know? I nod along. I got that feeling too, although for me it reminded me of high school. Guess it's just the theme of first crush and all. Kane doesn't reply for a moment. Yeah, I guess I can see it. There's a flush. And Bryan comes out of the bathroom, yawning. Already beat, Grandpa? He flashes a tired smile. Hey, you're the one who sleeps in all the time. Us adults have work to do, you know? As if. Anyways, what are you guys talking about? Just some music stuff. Bryan listens to the track playing for a moment before replying. Yeah, that's pretty good. Not quite what we were talking about, but you get points for trying. The panda pulls out his phone and taps away on the virtual keyboard. Kane turns his attention back to me while Bryan is otherwise occupied. Remember that concert I mentioned, by the way? Yeah, what about it? I got pushed back due to all the commotion around town. Sorry, dude. I'm pushed back that far. It hasn't been pushed back all that far. They just found a bigger venue with more security. It's supposed to be later this month. The friend I was going with can't make it. I still have his ticket, though. Would you like to come with me? Take a moment to consider. Bryan isn't paying attention at the moment, but is it rude to not include him? Though I know for a fact this isn't his type of thing at all. Kane's a friendly guy, too. How bad can it be? Yeah, sure. That sounds like a plan. How much was the ticket? Kane shakes his head. Oh, don't worry about that. It's already paid for and all. I just hate to go alone. Hard to say no to a free concert. Sure, let's do it then. Thanks, dude. I can tell he's trying his best to contain himself, but the wagging of his tail betrays him. Sweet. It'll be a lot of fun. You'll see. I bet. The three of us chat a bit longer after. Unfortunately, with the curfew quickly approaching, we're forced to part ways with Kane and with yeah, sorry, we're forced to part ways with Kane and head back to the dorms. Under the cover of the stars, Bryan and I discuss our plans for the coming week. As expected, he isn't too interested in going to the concert. We reach the dorm building a few minutes before curfew, and soon after we part ways for the night. When I make it back to my room, Zach's still playing the same game he was yesterday. I'm glad he's taking curfew seriously. I let myself drop on the bed, reminiscing about the day. All in all, today was pretty good. I've got a good feeling about October. Let's hope things stay this way. And that was the end of the demo. Well, at least I mean I am a little behind. I'll be honest. I am a few updates behind, but that's mainly because. But what I do know is that they're focusing on Carlos right now. So as far as Bryan's end goes, I think this might be it for now. So um, Bryan's route has been very interesting so far. I feel like. I mean, I think it is kind of cool. Like, it is kind of like it's kind of expected, to be honest. I wasn't expecting them to like start liking each other right away in terms like romantically. It's pretty clear it was gonna start off just pure friends with benefits, nothing more, nothing less. I'm really liking the frat, honestly. It's really nice to see like see like a game that talks about frats that aren't like filled with like you know, I guess you could say like the stereotypical like dumb jock types. Everyone seems to be pretty chill and all that. And I actually really liked the fact that Ben got initiated, and just I honestly thought there was gonna be a bit more conflict, to be honest, because I thought that Ben was actually gonna like almost like break ties with like Bryan over all that shit, with him being nervous about sex with Bryan and stuff like that. But I'm just glad that things are turning out okay. It does seem like Kane is implying that Kane might be a somebody that might get in the way in the future. There's like small details like how he's touching his like Ben's thigh and all that, and how he wants to like have Ben for himself. It seems like. So I'm curious to see how that will go. Um, but other than that, I think this is a pretty interesting start to his route. And I'm actually really curious to see where it goes. Obviously, I'm pretty sure there's going to be like an actual like real conflict that will happen. And I'm assuming it might be with Kane, but it could be something else. Who knows? It could just be uh, Ben is just too I don't know. Ben is just too crazy or something. Who knows? But regardless, though, so far I'm liking Bryan's route. It seems very nice so far. I like the direction it's going. I'm curious where Diego is gonna come in all this. See where how much more involved Kane will end up getting. And I'm curious to see um, if romantic feelings start popping up. It's kind of implied so far. I mean, I don't think that. I feel like there's like a when Bryan was asking him to go to his home game. I mean, you can always ask your friends to go to your home game, but there's just something about the way he was like describing like like, oh hey, tell me which seat you're doing, because I'm gonna dedicate this goal to you and stuff like that. It just gives you more like romantic vibes to it. So yeah, I actually really like this route so far. Next time I'm gonna focus. I'm gonna get the newer updates, and I'm gonna focus on Carlos's route again, because I didn't focus on his route for a while, because the focus was on Bryan. But now that we're back on track with Carlos, I'm gonna go back and go through his days too. Um, so yeah, so that's where I'm gonna go for go next is continue with Carlos. And now that I'm catching up with the updates, I feel like I'm more comfortable maybe starting other projects pretty soon. So stay tuned for that. I have a couple of visual novels in mind to start. Um, and just like every, you know, every visual novel, these past couple visual novel playthroughs, I mean, obviously, it's just gonna be me catching up with updates all the time, but it's fine. Uh, it's always exciting to experience new visual novels. So I'm really happy with it, where this route is going, and I'm kind of excited to see where it goes. So next time on Santa Lucia, we're gonna focus on Carlos and do some of go through some of his days. So yeah, with that said, I hope everyone has a good time. Had a good time while I was reading this, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.